You're on local radio, AM 1490 and FM 101.3. My name is Ben Marshall, and very happy to be continuing the 75th anniversary celebration for WMOA Radio, which was, of course, the actual day was on September 15th, and we spent the entire month of September with alumni interviews, and now here on the first day of October, we're continuing with that, and we are very pleased to be joined this morning by Leslie Wharton, and I believe, Leslie, whenever you worked here, Leslie Fouracre would have been your name. But talk to me a little bit about, as we get started here this morning, a little bit about how you got into radio and then how you got into WMOA radio.
Okay. Well, I went to Marietta College, graduated in 1986, and I majored in radio and TV broadcasting. My first job was in TV at WTAP in Parkersburg. And I did co-anchor, weather, sports. I did everything there. And then I got a job at WMOA. Big John Wharf hired me. And I started out in the evenings. Well, I did all the shifts there, too, just like I did at the TV station. Did the Cincinnati Reds games, ran the board for that. DJ'd, and then I moved on up as the years went on to be the news director at WMOA.
And that's an interesting perspective that you just kind of laid out, because a lot of the folks that we've talked to over the month of September, several of them have a history with WTAP as well. But you're kind of different, where you started with WTAP and then moved to WMOA. Do you have a preference in your career there, radio over TV, or vice versa?
They both have pros and cons. The best thing about radio is I didn't have to get dressed up or wear makeup, as in, TV.
Sure.
WTAP doesn't have, makeup people or anybody like that, like the big time stations do. So, I had to buy nice clothes and get contacts, because I wore glasses, and I had to see the teleprompter, but I didn't want to wear glasses. Back then, people on TV didn't wear glasses. And so radio was a lot more convenient and easier, and when I started mornings with Dick Geyer, it was very, very early, so I would just wear sweats and drink a lot of coffee.
That sounds about right, and the classic radio experience. So you talked about doing a little bit of everything here at the radio station. Was there any one thing that you really preferred, that you really liked, maybe including being news director?
Definitely being news director was great, because after my morning shift, I would go downtown and interview the mayor and the council members, and I really liked that, being involved in the community. And I really liked my favorite memories from WMOA are, since it was the sports connection in the Mid-Ohio Valley, I got to meet a lot of famous people, a lot of athletes, and I love sports, so that was great.
So, you bring that up, any particular names that you would throw out there?
Oh, gosh, Jack Nicklaus.
It's a good start.
Yeah, Pete Rose went with Johnny and a lot of other employees to the Red Caravan, which is in Kentucky, and I got to meet and talked in length to Marty Brenneman, their famous announcer, Joe Nuxall, met the owner, Marge Schott, and of course Pete, but my famous, or my most, I like football probably better than any sport, so I really enjoyed meeting a lot of football players. I talked to Kenny Anderson for about an hour in the lobby of the Hotel Lafayette one time. He was the nicest athlete I ever met. And then I got to, professional wrestling came. It was at Marietta College, and I got to go in the locker room and interview Buzz Sawyer. He was really nice. The men and the women that I met that weren't as famous as others were the nicer ones, like Buzz and Kenny Anderson. Pete Rose and Jack Nicklaus, you could tell that they had it with the media.
Yeah.
I'll just put it that way.
That's understandable.
They weren't as friendly as the lesser-known athletes.
Sure. One of the things that I've really enjoyed about our September alumni interviews, if you will, is the fact that a lot of the stories that I've kind of experienced over my nearly 15 years at WMOA is very similar to a lot of the experiences that the alumni have experienced as well. And you talk about the Red Caravan, and I've been very fortunate enough to be involved with that several times, and I've had the very much pleasure of meeting Marty Brenneman before he retired, and he's just an incredible individual. But that's certainly one of the amazing perks of WMOA radio and the business in general.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, Marty was very down to earth. I talked to him. We sat next to the pool at the hotel where the Red Caravan was because he was a heavy smoker, and he wanted to go outside and have a cigarette. So I talked to him for a long time. He was really nice.
Yeah.
But I also a lot of my good memories from WMOA are just being at the station and working with really, really nice people like Dick Geyer and Ralph Allen and of course, I met my husband there, Keith Wharton, and Johnny Wharf. So, but it also led me to other jobs and other careers too. Because I worked at the radio station, I knew a lot of people, and I got a job as a development director for the Easter Seal Society after I left the radio station, because Johnny and I had been co-hosts for the Easter Seals Telethon for gosh, I'd say 4 years in a row. And I also was on Marietta City Council for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's because I worked at the radio station, and I knew a lot of people, so...
And so talk a little bit about, with your experience as news director, maybe some of the more memorable news stories that you come across. I have one in mind that Keith actually told me about, but I wanted to see if maybe you come up with the same memory.
Well, I think he already told me.
Okay.
And I think it was the implosion of the Williamstown Bridge.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah, that was really fun because we were on a boat on the river. Of course, it was very early in the morning, so I was freezing. But I had a lot of fun working at WMOA. I do have to say that. People were always really happy, and people in Marietta were very nice.
And again, one thing that was the way it was then is how it is now. I think that's something we can all still stand by. Is that it's such a great community, and it's such a great place to live and work, and it's just something great to be a part of in general.
Yes. And when I started there, the radio station studio was in the middle of the building, and they remodeled the whole station while I worked there. And I think, isn't the studio still now with the big plate glass window that looks out onto the parking lot?
That is accurate, yeah. So with the main studio is now where the transmitter room used to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
yeah, and the studio was on the other side of that wall where the transmitter room was. Yeah. So I started working there when it was very old, and the Wharfs put a lot of money into it and made it really nice. And the sales department was downstairs, and Pete Gammon was a salesman there when I was there. He's a friend of mine, and another nice person. And the bicentennial celebration.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. Nancy Hollister planned all that. She was the mayor then, and Marietta had a really huge bicentennial celebration. I'm trying to remember how long it was. It seemed like it was about a month, maybe longer, where they had things going on. And the Mummers came from Philadelphia and performed in the park where I got married, down by the river, the Muskingum River, and and I got to direct them. That was fun. Yeah, you do really, really fun stuff when you're in the media, especially in a small town. It was just, it was fun. Small little station that really does a good job, a good service to the community.
We want to thank you, Leslie, for joining us here on the radio's WMOA Celebrate 75 Years, and thanks for joining the morning show this morning all the way from California.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure.
And we would certainly extend to you the same thing that we've extended to all of our guests. If you're ever in Marietta, do please stop and see us here on top of the hill.
Okay, will do. Thanks, Ben.
Absolutely. You're on WMOA Marietta. We'll get into ABC News here at the top of the hour.